How's it going, man?
Man, great to be back podcasting. Looking forward to cooking this weekend. Great to be
Yeah.
back on the cast. Just for those of you that don't know, we've been undertaking a pretty hefty kitchen reno. So about the last month or so plus, I've been either couch surfing or Airbnb in it or living in an active construction site. It's been fantastic.
About to say, man, you've been living like the hobo life for a while there, between bouncing couch surfing and what's
Couch surfing.
Yeah, what's Henry think about that? Is he like loving it?
Oh man, we rented one of the neighborhood Airbnbs for a week. He loved that. He just hogged out on that dude's video games like the whole time. I mean, kids that age, they're puppies. You put them down on something soft, they sleep, they don't care.
That must be nice. Mine, I got to rock in the bed.
No joke.
No, man, but it's man, I feel it's so weird. Like, it's comp week, and I'm like, even though we haven't been off that long, I still feel like I gotta like knock the rust off. I'm like, crap, what I gotta do? Like, taking like internal memos. I'm cleaning the trailer. I'm doing everything and making everything's good to go. And I gotta replace the battery. I gotta replace the battery in the trailer so our awning works. And our jack. Most importantly, our jack. Because God bless God bless electrical jacks, because my ass is not going to sit there and crank it like an Amish woman making butter.
No, nuts to hand cranking that thing.
No, it's silly, man. It's silly. So we've been, you miss. What's up? What's up? We got a celebrity in the house, man. The Pitmasters pod, checking us out.
Woo.
What's up, Anthony? But no, man, it's been a fun week, man. So last week we got to talk to the our girl down in Georgia, how she's kicking ass in the food truck realm, and I felt like we need to, as a barbecue podcast, not just focus on just one area, one niche of that's how you right niche. What is it?
Niche. It depends on what side of the pond you're on.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's like microwave.
Right. Microwave. I've never heard that said. You know what? Microwave doesn't piss me off more than those Midwesterners say pecan. It just, I don't know. Why does it bother me so much? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. But no, so we're microcasm. That is barbecue. This month we were focusing on the wonderful food truckers out there kicking ass, taking names. And for me, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like, I enjoy food off of a food truck more so than I do a restaurant, because usually it's fresher, it's different, and it just feels cool.
It's a category that's near and dear to my heart, because I feel like the people that are cooking food truck food, number one, they care about it. Number two, they're not afraid to hang it out there and try something different.
Right.
Like give me a barbecue kimchi taco, or you can do things with a food truck that just may not necessarily fly in a brick and mortar restaurant.
It's funny you said that. I've been like kicking around, like, because I've been watching barbecue. I'll shoot you my Venmo later, Anthony. No, I got sunburnt over the weekend and they hurt a little bit, so leave me alone. I won't even charge you tickets to the gun show, baby. Unless I am. No, but moving back, where was I? Oh yeah.
Food trucks.
Food trucks, yes. But no, also I've been watching the new Netflix show.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I love it. And I love to see the creativity that they bring in their food and the fusions that they're doing with barbecue. And that's like the new wave, modern barbecue. What do you think about like a pulled pork sandwich with kimchi and like some daikon pickles or something like that on top?
Absolutely.
Like a Japanese barbecue sauce. I think that sounds
Absolutely
good. Maybe on a
eat two of them right now.
I would. I don't know. I've been my creative juices get flowing. That are my fat ass. It's all good. But no, man. So bringing it back to where we are, we have a good friend of ours that's going to be coming on the show, and He has made the jump, and I respect dearly to turn barbecue, this passion we have barbecue, into a full-time occupation. This guy, he is a competitor like us. He is also a co-host on the Barbecue Central show every
Heck
fourth
yeah.
day. I may have that right. And yeah, man, food truck owner of Blinky's Barbecue. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Matt Osman Sr.
Yo. What's going
What's
on,
up?
everybody?
What's up, man?
The one man that talks more than I do about barbecue, Mr. Matt Osman Sr.
Hey, listen, I get it honest. I tell people all the time, my father's an attorney, my grandfather was a farmer. I was never not going to talk.
It's fair.
It's been going on, man. How's it been going, dude?
Man, it's been good. Just trying to get out there. Had a transition from what I called a semi-permanent location here in the Bellevue area. Was set up at a driving range type area and was open 4 days a week. A couple things happened at the worst time, most unfortunately, right at the beginning of, quote, barbecue season. Now, for folks like us and many others, barbecue season is every season. But for the greater general public, as sales go, it's end of May on into August, September. But anyway, so I've been more traditional food trucking it, more nomadic, setting up here still kind of exclusively into the Bellevue area, which was always part of the business plan. Had a good recent purchase from another fellow barbecue all-star, and finally got a decent vehicle to pool my trailer with, rather than that janky setup I had with the trailer towed and pulling it with a half-ton truck. Hey, look, you saw me around. Like it, that has worked.
I don't know how you did it, dude. I'd see you like pulling in, trying to back, because like pulling it seemed fine, but backing it up, you look like a monkey screwing a football. Because it was
what's an independent other axle in between, your pulling vehicle and then the trailer you're there. So you take everything you know about traditional backing up and weight pulling, and you throw it out the window. Like just completely, it doesn't matter. Now I will say
because you've got 2 pivot points.
Correct. You can turn on half a dime. That's the benefit of it. But yeah. So got a real big boy truck, at least.
It's the blessing and the curse.
Yes.
That's cool, man. That's cool, man. No,
heck yeah.
So let's kick this thing off right, as all podcasts should do. Let's with the most original question: who are you, and where did Blinky's Barbecue come from?
So my name is Matt Osman, Senior, because as some of you well know and who have seen me out there, I take my junior pitmaster with me, which is our son, Matthew Jr. I got the great opportunity in 2015 to call up my dad and tell him that we had one more thing in common, which was that both of us were seniors. So he was super excited about that. But Blinky's Offset Barbecue is a food truck that I own and operate. I wrote the business plan to kind of be a Bellevue-centric food truck out here on the west side of Nashville, still in Davidson County, and to serve up Q. We have another fantastic barbecue joint, Honey Fire, that's out over here, has absolutely killed it, and they are kind of a main staple. They opened up a second location in the Assembly Food Hall downtown Nashville.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 locations. Pun intended. I feel like in the Bellevue area, there's enough meat on the bone to go around to have 2 barbecue joints. But I'm
no doubt
now, and I keep the menu simple. I've got in essence 4 proteins: chicken, 2 varieties of pork, and brisket. I graduated my way up towards brisket. I feel obviously confident now because for a very long time, man, brisket was my Achilles heel. Shout out to Cotton Barbecue up in Kentucky, and
shout out Cotton.
Absolutely. Eric
friend
has
of
been
the pod.
Yes. He has listened to my rants and answered my questions, and he has been just a wealth of knowledge, and he's doing fantastic up there. But I got to a point where I felt like I could cook a brisket. Up to that point, it was, I'd cook 2, and I was lucky if one of the 2 were decent enough to sell, But I keep the menu simple, man. It's like I said, 4 proteins, 4 sides, 1 dessert, canned beverages, and roll it.
I love y'all's logo. It's got a really cool retro vibe.
It
I
does.
appreciate it. It was, I wanted something that was very much, and you guys have seen the trailer.
Oh yeah.
When you see the trailer, it's indicative of its owner. It's very loud, very busy, a little bit annoying too, almost.
No, not at all. I love it.
But growing up in Miami, Miami Vice and that whole beach idea and whatnot. Like I tell people, both sides of the trailer are different intentionally. Now, some people have caught on, but if you actually walked around the trailer and starting on the driver's side, it kind of tells a story. It starts out in South Florida with a beach scene and whatnot, ends on downtown and Broadway. So I'm pumped, had a great time doing that. A lot of input, a lot of layers.
I just put it together. Is the pig and the cow supposed to be Crockett and Tubbs?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. What's going on, Ray?
I didn't put that together until you said Miami Vice.
Yeah. And there's a couple Easter eggs kind of hidden there on both sides of it that I put in, and just let people, if they stare at it long enough, they'll figure it out. But look, man, why are you gonna follow your passion, go out into this, and if you don't have something of a good representation or something that catches somebody's eye? My idea was simple. I'm at a festival, I'm at an event, and there's multiple food trucks, right? Yes, it could be of different cuisines. I wanted, because people eat with their eyes, number one, it's barbecue, so they're going to smell what I've got up in the air, right? I'm throwing smoke signals up. They're going to be able to smell it. I wanted people to, and the phrase that I said is, be looking at it and be like, hey, and like tap their buddy, be like, what's that one? Let's go there. I want to go to that thing, just off of the looks. I back it up with the food, good price point, recipe for success.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like, when I go to food truck parks or fairs or anything like that, I mean, definitely, I mean, you see, white truck or white trailers and black trailers and all that stuff all the time, but you see something that looks fun and looks cool. I mean, it's like, it's human nature. I think it's, the mind of psychology, where you see something that looks fun, it's like, oh, this could be cool. So, I mean, more times than not, if I'm not there for a specific truck, I want to try the cool looking one.
It's easy peasy to me. There's a reason why modeling agencies and magazine covers and all these things have focus groups and attention to detail, is because, we're visual folks.
So. Now, hold on now. Don't be like talking about modeling agencies and blinkies all in the same category. That doesn't, not quite copacetic there. But
no, you're right. You're right.
You lost me there. But no, man, it's like Vegas. I mean, the shiny, bright things is going to draw your eyes to it, and that brings it to it. So, so you haven't always done food trucks. What kind of brought you into the food truck realm, to where you made the jump? I know you've always been in the restaurant business, but then you made the jump to the food truck industry, 2 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I have a long-standing background in hospitality. I came to Nashville in 2010, got here just in time for the flood, moved here in February. So that was my splashdown to this local market, like this natural disaster. I just learned what 440 was, where it was.
Welcome.
There's Johnny out there. And here's this, terrible catastrophe and natural disaster that happened, but it acclimated me to this area very much. So I was working in hospitality at the Renaissance Hotel downtown. Had worked my way through hotels and management and opportunities, and then found out that I was like, well, let's move out of Nashville. I had a cup of coffee in Atlanta. Had an opportunity that was extended to me there, and ended up coming back and opened up, ready for this, a salad restaurant in Brentwood. So,
boy, you really went the other direction.
Yeah,
I
I tossed salads for a living and got paid for it. Yes, I did. But I opened up, it was a franchise concept based out of Miami. Had that endeavor, had the great opportunity to do it with my sister, family involved as well. And we had Giardino Gourmet Salads. They're in Maryland Farms for right about 3.5 years. Closed up. We didn't make it. We were privately funded, and if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And we closed up in 2019, which obviously is the history books were written a little bit before COVID. Would we have survived COVID in that area? I don't know. I got no clue.
I mean,
it was a ghost town, man. I remember I was working in Maryland Farms during the pandemic, and there were days when I would just walk out into the middle of Maryland Way because I had never seen it that empty. I was like, I could go down it on a skateboard if I wanted to.
It was crazy.
Geese had taken it over.
Yep. So from there, you learn, you grow. I mean, it's that was the second franchise business that I'd been a part of. First full restaurant ownership that I'd been a part of. And just kind of sat on the couch for like 2 weeks, super bummed and upset. And I, had my lament, my little pity party, and then you got to get back out there. Landed at Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, and was a manager, part of the team there, a little bit further south into Brentwood. Held that down for 2 years. And then, Logan, and as you guys are like, when you got kids, and they're small, I had this vision with the salad shop, and I told my wife, I was like, look, these things go good. We do this right. Like, kids are going to, college is set. This is going to be there. Like, this is the plan, right? This is what you work for. Didn't work out. That wasn't our story. That's okay. But the kids were getting older. Bills are coming in. And so Cracker Barrel, fit the bill for a little while.
Sure.
Ended up, going through that, and that was my COVID job that I had. Man, that was there were shirts that were made that said I survived Cracker Barrel Mother's Day 2020. Like, Thanksgiving is huge at Cracker Barrel, Mother's Day is huge at Cracker Barrel. And that experience with the pandemonium, the chaos, the social distancing, it was a madhouse. There was literally from the cook line all the way back to receiving in the back door, just orders that were cooked, prepared, and people did not pick up or canceled or what. It was a nut house. Anyway, did the Cracker Barrel thing for 2 years, and then, got to the point where 60-hour plus work weeks for the man, and this. Look, pay was great, don't get me wrong, but I felt that it was time to go back out on my own, to take, let's say, the best 10% of working at hotels and having this, restaurant, brick and mortar. And I just wanted to dumb it down. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to have something that was my own, that was easily approachable, despite the logo and the busyness of it. And that was simple. And I had really started cooking around, let's say, 2017. Now, I would throw down on the grill. I would literally cook whole meals. I would cook a chicken Alfredo in cast iron over a charcoal grill, like boiling the noodles over, just because I love to grill. Smoking and barbecue, that wasn't as much of what I had done. And then, as I'm on record saying, my wife, she's from Texas, she wanted brisket, and she wanted Texas brisket. So I said, I got this, no problem. Dude, I went to, I think, Kroger, bought a brisket, and I just looked at it like a gigantic piece of steak. And I just threw it over the coals. Yeah, I mean,
and then threw it away.
Oh no, I mean, it's huge. I mean, I probably barely trimmed any fat. I'm like, man, there's a lot of fat on this thing. I took it to 170 and thought that it was completely shattered and terrible. Probing on the flat part where it gets real thin, and I cut right down the middle, and I put that on her plate. Bless her heart, She ate a bite. Dude, that thing was pink and rubbery. And I mean, she looked at me
bad. It's just bad.
I mean, all the way across.
I like the medium rare.
Yeah, brisket. Yeah.
The medium rare brisket.
Home of the medium rare brisket. That's a sure. But no, I and she looked at me, she said, "That's not it, sweetheart." And I said,
okay.
So,
yes, ma'am.
I learned, and I called some people, and obviously YouTube and Google and the Malcolm and the Heaths and the, as soon as you enter into that vortex, it just is deep. Like light speed, and it just starts coming at you. but I practiced and honed and did this and messed up a lot of bad barbecue. I still have some photos where I was under the impression that when your smoke, if it wasn't white, thick, billowing, I was not getting any smoke flavor at all.
Dirty smoke.
But that's just what my comprehension at that time was.
But I mean, that's rookie mistakes. We all made those mistakes, and we've all, like, anybody who's doing this barbecue game and is saying that they've never, like, had a bad dish, or, like, I can't tell you how many expensive pieces of, like, proteins I've thrown away that I've tried to barbecue. Like my first pork butt, like, I cooked that thing, and I cooked it to like what you cook a pork chop to, and like just like you did with a brisket, and you try to go pull that thing and it's pulling you back. You know, it's it's tougher than
pulling a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like. But like, moving forward, like, you're talking about how you've kind of had the whole spectrum of the restaurant, business, where you started like a restaurant, brick and mortar experience, and that didn't work out, and then you went to more of a corporate setting, and you got to see that. Then you had the hospitality side of the hotel, like, and now you run a food truck. Like, what are some of the challenges, and what are some of the lessons you learned from your previous experiences? I mean, every what, like they say, I mean, every failure is another opportunity to learn something. So what have you taken from your previous experiences to bring into the Blinky's offset food truck?
So when you are in any endeavor that you are a one of one, or what I call micro business, because they're small businesses, but I think, whatever category, small businesses go up to like 500 plus employees. I mean, you're a sizable company at 500 employees, but still a small. You do everything. There was from the salad concept and whatnot, there's a very valuable lesson, that I learned from a fellow franchisee, and his phrase was "pay and bitch," like, straight up, just offload things that you don't do well to somebody else and pay them for it. And then when they don't perform or they don't uphold their agreement, you bitch at them. That's just straight up and simple what it is. That goes to almost all spectrums, right? That could be to your day-to-day tasks. That could be to your accounting. That could be to your, payroll. That could be to whatever type opportunities and aspects of a business that need to be there. So that's definitely a very valuable lesson to do. Now, the first part of that is you have to pay. And as folks know, you have to bring that cash register. You have to have the volume, and you're just paying into the business. You're running at a deficit for a certain amount of time. There's very, very few people with any business or walk of life, especially a food truck, who, have the nest egg, have the startup money, and then go out for their first time, and then just boom, they crush it. That's not a lot of people's story. Mutual bud, Rusty Monson with Salt City Barbecue. When he started his food truck out there, he was a one of one, operation. He was doing everything soup to nuts. From other experiences, I try to take within, and I've written a lot of things down. I always try to listen to those who are older or have longevity in the industry that I'm in. I'm not saying that I can't have bright ideas and look at things in a different perspective, but they've already cut the teeth. If they're willing to give you their hard-earned, their expensive knowledge, it'd be kind of dumb not to take it, straight up. Like, if you don't listen to it and heed their warnings, you're going to make the same mistake, and it's going to be costly for you as it was costly for them. With hospitality and being in a hotel, you just have to have an open mind, and you have to realize that everybody who comes to your hotel or your food truck is a guest. They are the paying customer, right? Couple old anthems. Number one, never say no to money. Number two, because I put this one in the second, most people lead with this one, the customer is always right. And rule number three, see rule number two. But I think that it's simple. We as people, we make it too complicated. When I told friends and family and peers, and hey, I'm going to start my own food truck and this, and they would just kind of shake their head and they're like, oh my goodness, this guy is going to be all over the place. He's going to have 49 things on the menu. It's because that's kind of how I am. Like I'm like camping. I'm intense. I have, there's your one dad joke for the day. I have a lot of things going on, and I have to chastise myself to keep it simple. So 4 sides, 4 proteins, 1 dessert. I may interchange those for seasonality, but man, if it works, like people give me crap for having chicken leg quarters on there. I don't always sell out of leg quarters, but to be fair, chicken is a lower cost protein.
It's a cheap protein. Yeah, it's one you can eat a little easier.
It's delicious because it's chicken, and you have that option. And guess what? It's a leg quarter, so it's dark meat, and it's amazing. And I have some aspects. I'm not cooking a leg quarter for the truck, the same, obviously, of what we're doing for a competition, but it is the same meat. You know, I find myself taking that skin over and making it tight, and sometimes I've jacquarded it just because, you know, I wanted to, like, all these little tiny things. So I'm handling those proteins very much often. Now, that's not the reason I have leg quarters on there. It's just a perk to it. When I started, I used to have pulled chicken, and I realized it is terrible. You cook a whole chicken, spatchcock it, and first of all, you get people like, I only want white meat, I only want dark meat. It's like, nah, listen, chicken. Okay, that's what I have.
Bird.
Take it. And then, when's the last time you guys pulled a whole chicken?
I don't think I ever have.
It's been a little bit, but yeah, I know it's not fun.
Not a barbecued one.
No, but for me, it was like 4 minutes, because of course I know how much meat is on there. So how many of the little pieces of meat next to the tendon are you pulling off and trying to pluck this one? But I was that meticulous because I want X amount of this, and it just, so I was like, 86 that we're going to leg quarters. I think here's this, looks great on a plate. It's enough meat of a protein, and go from there. I took different aspects from that. Like I said, everybody coming there being a guest and having a hospitable mindset to the business. And also, it's okay to ask your customers too. A lot of people, you know, we get the feedback from reviews or word of mouth, but I will go around, especially if I'm at a place where there's like picnic tables or people are kind of posted up over there. If I'm slow, nobody's in my window, I will walk out my truck. I will go over there, and I have this thing. I say, okay, guys, on a scale of 1 being the worst to it doesn't suck being the best, where was it? And they kind of, it didn't suck. And I'm like, yes. All right, cool. You know, job well done. And then I also ask feedback. Do you feel like you got enough of a portion? Do you feel that it was good value? If those 3 things are all check marked, that's a happy customer, you know?
Right. What are things that you do? Because as you know, all 3 of us know here, we're all in the Nashville market. I mean, Nashville is it's an oversaturated almost at this point of different cuisines and culinary experiences. And, you know, there's food trucks out the wazoo. There's freaking, you know, restaurants, new restaurants. I'm in Houston, I'd say about every week there's something new. There's like,
every week.
Yeah. If you're a culinary, you know, foodie, you
drive down Nolensville Pike. You'll hit 55 different taco trucks.
Sure. So, I mean, what is it that you think? I mean, first off, starting a food truck in this, you know, intense and super competitive market is, you know, a huge, you know, swing.
Yes, Wes Garrett, green beans are on the menu.
Yeah. But like what do you feel like differentiates you from like the rest of the barbecue food trucks? I mean, we're in the South, we're in Tennessee, there's 10,000 barbecue food trucks, I feel like.
So 2-3 things, right? And you've heard this phrase with a lot of Texas type joints, where a couple years back the phrase craft barbecue or craft barbecue joint are kind of, or maybe they still are.
Modern barbecue, yeah.
Okay. I suppose if you have to split hairs, I would fall into that category within a food truck and a barbecue category, if that makes sense. But to put a stake in the ground and to actually differentiate myself, number one, I named the business Blinky's Offset because two main purposes. That's the pit that I cook, and anybody in the barbecue bubble who knows and understands, well, this is a rotisserie or this is and you know what an offset and the barbecue that comes off of an offset is. It's better. Love Old Hickories. They're fantastic. But there's a texture.
Shots fired.
There's a texture to offset barbecue. Let's say like this. For brisket.
I'll give you brisket. Okay.
And I'll even say chicken. If you won't go pork, I'll even say chicken.
Okay.
But anyway, so I named it that to tell people this is the type of barbecue that I'm doing. Next, as you guys have had, and as you well know, Ruthie's cinnamon pickles. Absolutely. It's the garnish all the plates. It's incredibly iconic to have something pickled as a garnish for your barbecue plate. I racked my brain.
I do love those cinnamon pickles.
It's something I grew up with. So now it's a personal thing. Now I'm sharing a bit of my family recipe, my family history with everybody who comes to the truck. And then lastly, what I call my signature is Nashville hot mojo pork. As Logan, you got your 180 and chicken a couple years back over there in Murfreesboro. Well, who won People's Choice that year?
Yeah, you killed it.
And you can hear me and those type of awards at those type competitions. If I can snag a People's Choice, I run the same recipe. I run Nashville hot mojo pork. It's a pork butt, it's mojo marinated, injected into it, salt and pepper on the pit. It's cherry and hickory. And then when I take it off, I take a Nashville hot rub and shake it as I pull it. And that's it. A little bit of Bill's barbecue sauce, the hot. And there he is. Shout out to Andy. Boom. Shameless plug right there, bud.
There you go.
Sorry about that. So those things are something that I have that I'm passionate about, that are flavors, the mojo marinade and the lechon type from all my buddies, all the Hispanic friends that I grew up in that culture in South Florida with that citrus. It's high onion, high garlic into the pork, merged and married with barbecue and
classic bar. Right.
Absolutely.
I think modern barbecue, which is what you're talking about, the fusion of barbecue, like what we talked about, the Asian fusion dish we were earlier before the show, and then that's what I get excited for now, because all of us here have had enough pulled pork sandwiches to last us a lifetime. We've had enough ribs. I love ribs, but don't get me wrong, but if I never eat another one of traditional ribs, I'm fine with that. But I love the fusion flair. You're from South Florida. You ever thought about bringing more of your South Florida flair, to play on a Cubana or something like that with your cinnamon pickles, and some of that kind of stuff kind of differentiates you from the other traditional barbecue joints.
Some chicharrones.
There you go. Hell yeah.
So
I love a chicharrone.
Short answer is yes. I will mainly do that in forms of a special for the day rather than to fully affect the core menu. I've wanted to bring in rice and beans. Now, whether I do a traditional black or red bean, I'm kind of on the fence,
típica.
Or I could do a menudo, or I could bring in the plantains, or I could, because those are things that I grew up, that I know how to cook, that I have half of my, contacts and my phone is friends still from South Florida. And you name
mofongo,
some of that. So there are tons of dishes that I could incorporate either one aspect of or just run the dish itself. I have an entire separate food truck concept written down with a menu, with a design, with this, and it's called Garlic and Lime. You can imagine if the food truck's name is Garlic and Lime, what all the dishes are going to have one way or the other. And I opted to go with barbecue first rather than that one because, well, we're in the South. We're in the, belt buckle, right? So barbecue seemed like a bit more of the safe play to it.
Sure.
And here's the thing, man. I get to get up every morning and go cook barbecue and be profitable at it. Like
that's a good day.
you know, it's not at all bad. Like I'm very blessed. I'm extremely fortunate. Now I will say this: the wife and kids, as you a long time ago, are stupid sick of eating barbecue. Maybe not my wife for brisket. She'll eat the brisket. But it's because I've ran that recipe. And as Wes said earlier, the green beans, my country green beans, just green beans lives matter, man. Right here, right there.
There you go.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, do you think when you make all of those dishes from your past or from your family that are so close to you, do you think that you make them better than your food truck barbecue?
Maybe.
Is there a taste difference in that food that you love?
There's definitely a taste difference, you know, because when you're cooking for volume or you're cooking for the masses, unless you are so bolden to say and describe one dish or flavoring, seasoning of is really out there, you kind of have to hit it within a spectrum, you know?
Sure.
I will sample another thing that I learned from a lot of just years in hospitality and food and beverage. Sales 101, people want what they can see. Within a food aspect, if I can give you a sample of something and you will try it, you're going to probably tell me one of two things, but it is a definitive decision maker. I sample something, you're going to say, I want that because it's what you've just tasted. If that's what you like. Or if you do not care for that, you're going to say, no, thank you to this. But now, because I tasted that, it solidified my decision and I want that. So you speed up the process. And that's kind of like a server type, waiter trick when you are having something and sometimes depending on I worked in fine dining, I worked in casual. If you can bring a sample table side to have those guests there and they can taste what it is, you're going to speed up that process. You're going to move along coursing of the dinner, get your order in, and it's a way to also increase the sales. I will not with high regularity, but I will take about 2 inches of a brisket, mainly from the flat, and I will identify that with my eyes and slice off a piece of brisket. If somebody I think is right there, and give them a hand carved and within the truck piece of brisket so they can taste it. How many places are you going to go to who's just going to willingly give you a bite of their high priced dollar item? Sure. Well, the reason I do that is because
shout out Publix.
Okay. but it moves the order process along. Now, I'm not doing that when I got a long line. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's no time. But and obviously to the pork and this, I will give you samples of it because I want them to have an educated decision. Overwhelmingly, folks like, well, yeah, I want that. And, Houston, to your point, one of the sides on there is what I have a menu that's called Paw Paw's Creamed Corn. And then when I say it's creamed. Heavy pause.
Creamed,
not cream corn. We've all had cream corn before. That I'm not opening up a can and pouring it. No, I get ears of corn, and I husk them, and I have a corn creamer, is what it is, and it's a blade contraption and this long, and you take the ear and you roll it down, and pretty much cut your finger. But that's what my grandfather did because he was a farmer, and he had tons of deep freezers in what was called Mom's Kitchen. And he would cream all that corn and put it in quart bags and then go freeze it. And they had creamed corn forever. And it goes on the pit.
Right. Let's talk about, all right, for people that are watching or people that are kind of interested in maybe, making the leap themselves one day. Let's talk about the ground roots, the basis of because you always want to be prepared with any new business venture. I don't care what you're doing. You could be selling socks, soaps, or barbecue. You need to have, a good base knowledge of your market and cost analysis and all that stuff. So before you got into Blinkies, did you kind of jump head first and figure it out as you go? Or did you go, hey, this, this many ounces, this pork butt's going to render me, 30% loss, and this is how much every sandwich costs, and this is my break-even point? Or did you kind of just figure that out as you went?
So, as to one of the things I mentioned, but like, I'm not afraid to ask people who are, veterans and people in there. Kerry Bringle, I reached out to him very heavily with different aspects. He was very respectful to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to answer your questions. I want to help you." He says, "But respect my time as well. Come with a list and very specific questions." He says, "I'll give you, 10, 15, 20, whatever you need." He says, "But I need you to be organized so I can answer them accurately." Took his notes, found out. And I did a lot of the weight loss and what, you pay for and you render and things like that, because it matters. What I've always said is the best brisket cooks in Texas, they're probably getting high side 60% yield, maybe average is about 50. And that's from not pre-trim weight, but from pre-trim weight, not post-trim. So purchase weight to final product. And there's obviously trimming in there, which, sausage and vaccine or brisket burger, like there's that aspect of what you can do to still utilize, because you paid for that decal. You paid for that, quarter inch off the side. You paid for that tiny piece of the flap that you're cutting out. And you have to understand margins. And that's another reason why I didn't put brisket on the menu until recently.
Yeah.
Not just because I wasn't a great cook. It's expensive. It takes forever.
You're it's a break-even protein pretty much. And it's kind of just to get people there. You're making all your money on the pork and the chicken and
chickens.
Yes.
I think so. Did you ever repurpose any of your trimmings, like you said, for like brisket? Because brisket burgers are huge nowadays. Brisket burgers and like cotton that we talked about earlier. He does sausage. He makes his own sausages out the trimmings and stuff like that. So that's another thing of like repurposing, so you don't have as much loss as if you can get every single dollar you can out of your proteins when you're a business. That's what you got to do.
So short answer, yes, but I've really only done it so far with brisket burgers. I want badly to get into the sausage world and I feel like do. But yeah, I do. Tossing salads and getting into sausage.
Ooh. I think I saw that DVD on Houston's Mantle one time.
It was just the holder, because the DVD was already in the player.
It's already.
Return to the wiener.
I have I've not made sausage. Like I know enough about it to know, man, that's a commitment. You have to have the right equipment. It's okay. So brisket burgers is where I've done that. And I basically wait till I have about 5 pounds of trim. I take it, label date, freeze. I have the grinder and a brisket burger. Yeah. And I only cook prime briskets. Like that's all that I'm doing. So it's a fantastic quality for a burger. It's tough to beat a good brisket burger.
Sure. Absolutely. That's like one of the hottest things right now. I see people repurposing briskets and like roast and stuff like that to make burgers. People I feel like the food taste has evolved a little bit more, especially in this area, in the Nashville area. There's a lot more foodies and stuff that they want to try more high quality versus back in the day. They're happy with a bologna sandwich, which I love, but I like new stuff too.
No doubt.
So smoked bologna was on the menu for a long time, and it still comes around. And shout out to Big James with his chub rub, because that's once he
stuff.
Absolutely. Once he started coming out with that, guess what? I was running, just kind of a barbecue rub. Yes, his rub is and can be for other elements, but it actually really is good on bologna. To the other question about ounces and portion wise, when I was at Cracker Barrel, and Cracker Barrel's 50.
They probably got it in science.
Yeah, it's 4 ounces of corn, it's 5 ounces of mashed potato. It's and most times, new line cooks, when you train them, there's a scale on the line, and it's the same ramekin, and it's the obviously different portion scoops, but they have to weigh their portion before it can go on the plate and go out to the window. You've got to have consistency. It's kind of like a bartender, right? Some bartenders,
so they don't let them eyeball it.
Correct. Well, and bartenders use jiggers that are poured down and measure each cocktail because you want a balanced cocktail. You don't want to lean on it. I mean, if you're doing that, drinking,
you're losing money.
Buddies, yeah. So some bartenders can free pour because they did a test at the head of the shift versus some people. And so you just have to, because at the end of the day, our minds, at least to me, will err on the side of generosity and say, well, if I give them more, then we're going to get more. And you know what? Sometimes you can actually rub a customer the wrong way by over portioning, because two things are going to happen. Number one, they might not eat that much. And so if they don't eat that much, what you see is a value, or should be a value to them, they're going to, because of their habits and whatever it is, they're going to see as food waste. And then they're going to have a negative mindset that you're over portioning, regardless of what your price point is, but it's an over portion. And so you're frivolous with your food and with your food cost. It's possible to do that. Other people just don't want that much food. They want scheduled portions. You need to be consistent across the board. I know I have handfuls, dozens of regulars. I know if, Shane or Terry or somebody comes up, I'm probably giving them an extra pinch of the tongs of mojo pork, right? Sure. Because they're a regular and I can count on their consistent business, and they've spread the word and brought friends. And that's just a tip of the cap and homage to me, to them. I have done different things to beef up or to add for a first
pun
time
intended
client or guest, because you want those good representatives. I try to operate my business within responsibility, impression, and consistency. So I may give you a pinch. If I am selling you a pound of pork, but it's your very first time, but you heard about it, you're probably getting 1.2 ounces. Probably, because I just want you to get that little bit, extra. John said it best. Yes. Now, I'm never going to underportion you. That's not what it is. That's just terrible business. But I may a skosh, a pinch, a dab here and there. And in my opinion, that's okay. Now, it also costs. And I ring it up.
Sure.
And I have a little button on my register that says, I know the owner, which equals 100% discount. So I will charge them for 1 pound. I will go back and enter 0.2 pounds, and I know the owner, and it zeroes it out. But I still accounted for that cost and for that food. So. Right.
I mean, as business owners, not just food, we all know that location plays a prime point or part of the success or failures of any. You could have a bomb. Amazing. The grilled cheesery, which is for people not in the Nashville business, they're giants.
The bee's knees, yeah.
They were the giants of the Nashville food truck scene for years. Like, they were the creme de la creme. And if they were in BFE nowhere, like, they would fail, even though it's an amazing food, amazing product. It's all about location. And I would say, with food trucks, it's even more important. Finding that good location. So for you I've noticed with food truck people I've talked to, you have roamers who chase the crowds and chase the events and chase stuff like that, which is fairs, which that's guaranteed customers. And then you have people like you and Cotton who like to stay stationary and let people know where they are at all times. What is your viewpoint on that, and pros and cons of both sides?
My viewpoint, and that was part of having the brick and mortar, coming from these great concepts that I've had the opportunity to work and be a part of and learn from their systems and the business mind, which when I was set up over at that driving range, it was amazing because that opportunity came really early for me. It was always kind of the goal to, quote, be semi-permanent, meaning I'm a food truck, but I'm stationed here. I'm hooked up to power. I'm hooked up to water. And you're coming to me But if on any given day I need to or want to, I can pick up and drag and go out to wherever the opportunity is. I would love that setup, but you do miss out. And one other last thing, if you don't have a phenomenal, you don't have a phenomenal location that you're semi-permanent at, it's over. Like it's
pack it in.
Yeah. That's the good opportunity to be a nomad, to pick up and drag and kind of go chase. It's rolling the dice. You might as well be in Vegas with a $8,000 trailer, or 8,000 pound trailer, excuse me. And the reason why I say that is it's a gamble any first time that you go somewhere, right? You always kind of want to sell out, or you could also shout out to the GOAT, Darren Worth, who at Iowa Smoky D's, he will never sell out of barbecue. He has made it his business plan. He will never sell out of barbecue. He hates the opportunity to sell something. He's built an incredible business out there. He has absolute consistency and he has availability. Because of my smaller scale business, I want to sell out. I want to cook what I can cook, not because I want scarcity, not because I want to disappoint those, guests who have. And here's the other thing, food truck pro tip. If I see that I have like 5 or 6 portions and my line is 10 or 15 people long, I will, to the person who's there at my window, hey, ma'am, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm going to yell something real quick. Okay, so I don't want to yell in your face if you want to step to the side. And I will shout out to the line, hey, folks, 5 portion of hot mojo left. I want to give them the update. I want to tell them he's almost out of it. And I've seen people walk out of line for it. Now,
sure,
that sucks because I lost that sale. But you know what? That person who was 8-9, rather than wait the whole line for me, oh yeah, sorry, we're sold out of that.
They'll be there early next time.
Yeah, that's the other idea. When you
So
go,
they're not angry at you because they didn't get their shit.
correct. When you go to a brand new place and you're picking up and you're hauling around town, you can ask some people if it's like an event or if it's a schedule, like what's the thing? What's the film on the green or movies on the green?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those big events they do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
movies in the park at the Parthenon. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the
So
one in
it's like,
Centennial.
It's like
Yeah,
consistent,
that's it,
and I mean, I imagine it varies within a holiday, weather, and perhaps whatever movie they're offering, right? But overall, there's a good flow of consistency there. If you go to something like that, you kind of have a baseline of where it is. If I go pick up and I go to Kingston Springs, or I go out to Dixon or Pegram or Hermitage to set up at blank auto center or somebody, and it's a first time, I have no baseline. And when you're
shout out to Pegram,
like, hey, they're on the map. I mean, that's
actually
the
correct.
That's the problem with a food truck. That's the problem with risking it for the biscuit, with going for these things. It's also, if you're going to if you're hired in, you want to talk about minimums. You want to talk about expectation, little food truck math. If there's a big festival event and, promoter says, oh, we're going to have 10,000 people there. Okay. How many food trucks? Oh, we're having 5. Okay. So 5, 10,000, you start doing the math. Well, I know I'm going to only count on 5,000 people of your 10,000 because you're the promoter to be there. Out of 5,000, I'm going to take 10% of that. And that's what I'm going to count for my business because there are multiple food trucks. Well, there's 2 dessert concepts and they're not going to compete with you. You're right. That dessert isn't barbecue. That's not the same thing. But you know what it is? It's $5 or $10 in their pocket. Somebody might only have dessert because they will have dinner at home and they'll have their dessert, whatever it is. So it becomes a monetary aspect to comprehend how much opportunity do I have. Another perk about barbecue, man, we cooked this stuff hours ago. We're hot holding it. We did all the hard labor. We're not made to. Some people get pizzazz and chefy and with sandwiches and tacos and stuff, like that's fine. And I'm not talking about like barbecue nachos or something that you kind of layer some stuff, which is my special on Thursday at Bellevue Farmers Market. And I have a very quick turn time. I start my
because at that point you're just plating.
Correct. It's portion, plate, and go.
Yeah.
From the time I finish the order, i.e. the payment is being processed, like I comprehend your order, whether I write it down or I know it in my head, I start my timer. I should be able to get 4 boxes, either sandwich or plate. For me, a sandwich comes with 1 side, a plate comes with 2. Sandwich or plate, I should be able to get 4 boxes out in 2.5 minutes.
Right.
I can turn my line.
I got you. So like we had a viewer ask a question. Like, so your business model is more towards like stationary, bringing the customers to you. But we talked to like Chrissy and Rusty's talked about how private events and stuff like catering is where like they see a lot of upsales and stuff like that. How many private events like have you done, or have you kind of leaned your business model that way, or trying to get your name out there? Or?
So I have done like 15, 25 private events. And that's taking the trailer too. Like that's what I would, not just a drop catering, pans and trays, of not necessarily that. Which counts, but it's not the full glory and aspect of it. Guy I get my wood from over there in Franklin. He towards the end of the year was having a big thing, killed it in the years and whatnot, and it's a big tree service company. He hired me to set up, and he wanted like open fire cooking and the hanging stuff and this and all. So I said, okay, here's what I have, here's my vision, here's the price. You got the money, I got the time. I tell everybody I'm barbecue for hire. Okay. I mean, if you want this, I will come to you. I will meet you here locally to sell you 1 pound of pork. I got no problem with that. Why should I turn my nose up at somebody who wants my product, who's going to have it, and who's going to potentially be another connection point to somebody else in a sale? To your point of, how much has it kind of rippled? The word of mouth is still the best type of advertising. I actually we're going out of town later this weekend, and for a week I had to turn down a catering because it's during the time that we're on vacation. Now you have to have the work-life balance. We beat that thing 1,000 times. We all know that. And I explained to him, I said, hey, I'd love the opportunity. I'm not trying to be, prestigious or in demand or anything, but if you would consider changing it 1 weekend, I could accommodate this. Does your event crux on this same weekend? And they kind of talked about it and came back. She says, yeah, it kind of does. I said, okay. I said, I wanted to ask. I want to ask for the business. You ask me, I'm asking you to make an adjustment. If that can happen, that's fantastic. If it can't, okay, then politely, I'm unavailable. There's that's just life. It is what it is. So we'll see. I like the idea to be around. I do, but I also love the opportunity to stay in one place, build a routine, build a rhythm. I signed up for the farmers market I mentioned. Other than this, not in 2 days, Thursday, but next week, Thursday. Other than that, Thursday, I'm the barbecue food truck for the rest of the season. It's every
Which farmers market you at?
Bellevue, out over here, Red Caboose Park.
On the farmers market? I'm curious on that. Do they charge is it like per spot, or is it like per weekend, or how do they charge like that for you to come?
Out here in Bellevue, we are very fortunate. So I have done both. I have done the tent vendor aspect of it with barbecue, and I have done the food truck. The tent vendors,
oh man, we had the dial-up internet kicking in.
You glitching?
Am I?
Hello.
Yeah, it's all good. You're back. We're back.
Okay. It was 10% of sales up to $500 for the food trucks because they know it's going to draw people in. $3.99.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's nice.
it's incredibly nice. But one thing builds upon the other. I mean, if you see food trucks there, you draw the crowd. They go to the other vendors. It's a market.
Sure. You got guaranteed customers, especially in this area. I mean, that kind of market is like crack cocaine to the housewives in this area.
Sure.
I mean, farmers markets might as well be just crack cocaine because I mean everybody's going to come for miles.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question from a world champion. I always got to ask those.
Okay.
Jordan Kirkpatrick. He says, "Do you prefer public events or catering gigs?"
Oh, listen, if I had my brothers, be 100% catering, 100% because it's guaranteed. Right? Yeah, it's scheduled. Like you can run anybody who's a father out there, maybe you and your spouse or whatnot. But I learned this becoming a father for the first time. There's things that are called inductions, and when women are induced into labor, and that's a scheduled birth of a human being. Previous to me becoming a father, I didn't know that existed. And so birthing, right, is a business and is a process. And a catering, odd comparison, I know, you can.
I was wondering where you're going to come around here.
We're getting to smoked placenta at some point.
Yeah, if we start talking about umbilical cord and embryonic fluid, I'm going to just cut you off and all right, well, good night, folks.
Burnt-in cords. No.
Wrap it up.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's scheduled, and you can prepare better for it. My wife was induced with both our kids actually, so we knew when we were going to have the baby. When that order is due. If you go to a public event, it's a hypothesis.
It's a lottery ticket, right?
Man, because you're barbecue and like you were saying, Houston, you're just portioning and serving, you're flying it out. If you have your mise en place, if folks who are on your truck, you can move that line. There's a stitch in time saves 9. Whatever that means. My mother always said it. It's just, do something now so that you don't have to do it later. Barbecue, cooking, and vending, so long as your menu is not very difficult, so long as you don't have a lot of assembly required, right? In those terms, you should be able to crank it. Pre-portioning, pre-slicing, and you're hot holding. You have to make sure you have food safe temps. You have to make sure you have the right portion control. You have to make sure you have all the right equipment. I have a list, believe it or not, for those who have been in my trailer and somewhat of the chaos that it is. I know how many tongs I need. I know how many 4-ounce portions I need, how many 5-ounce scoops. I know how many, paper towel roll. I actually have it written out on there. Now, sometimes I bring more than I need and have more than I need because maybe if one breaks or maybe if something, no. So you want a little bit of that. But we'll see. It's, I know of people, not just a barbecue food truck, but specific, who have had a lot of success both ways, and the idea is your public sales should benefit and your catering should grow off of that. If you look at my trailer and you walk around it, 6 times on the phone number is on there, 5, 6 times on there, it says, we cater, we cater, we cater. Right. I wanted that message on there.
Hit us up.
Fair enough.
Hey, man, you mentioned world champions. So, and Matt, you've dropped a couple big names. Just out of curiosity, who else is on Meat Rushmore for you?
Meat Rushmore. Darren Worth.
For sure.
100%. I'm going to put Trig up there.
Johnny.
I'm going to put Pat Burke. And
you put the ghost on there?
I don't know if I want to put the ghost on there. You know what? I'm splitting hairs, but I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, but I'm gonna cowtail to him, because he's got a lot of championships. I'll throw Heath on the Meat Rushmore.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
pretty consistent one. Not just championships, but business too. So, and that's a solid one.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
a solid one.
I'll throw Heath on there.
All right, fair enough. Well, hey, man, you know what that means. That means it's time for the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply Lightning Round, brought to you by Brothers Q Barbecue Supply. Check out Brothers Q Barbecue Supply for all your barbecue needs. I got that damn pat now, man.
Hey, what's
Very
that name
well.
again?
Brothers Barbecue. I hate you. I hate you. I have it down perfect. I messed my cadence up. Brothers
you
Q
didn't miss
Barbecue
me.
Supply. All right, here we go. No, I do. All right, man. You want to hit them with it?
Hit him with it. All right, man. Favorite thing to cook at home?
Rice.
Okay. Any particular type or just?
I
Just the
love
white kind.
I love yellow rice personally, but for the rest of the fam, good old fashioned white rice, but with garlic and onion.
Nice.
That is the
Right.
first. Okay.
Beach vacation or mountain?
Beach.
Nice. One thing that you always have in your trailer can't be Thermapen.
Paper towels.
Okay. It's a solid one. What's one thing you know now that you wish you had known at the beginning of your career?
Barbecue is so expensive.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Very expensive. Very expensive.
Very reasonable hobby. And if you had a walk-up song, it would be
Ice Ice Baby.
cold.
Ice. The vanilla ice or the Ninja Turtle one.
Ninja Rock or Ninja Rap.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja.
It's got to
go
be
Ninja, go.
OG Ice, which I saw some reel the other day. I didn't see the time. Apparently, that guy still makes like $300,000 a month off of that single and that album across the world.
Well, hey, Mariah
Good for
Carey
him.
makes like $1.2 million a year on one song. So
Well, so
Who
It's
knows?
literally about like 1 month.
yeah, Christmas. And
He
she didn't write
bought
that.
the original from Under Pressure.
Yeah, but Dave Bowie,
Yeah,
or
because
Queen.
the whole copyright. What?
No, Matt, his is doom 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 doom, and Vanille's is dude.
It's that one ding.
Is that ding? That was embarrassing watching him say that. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's
was
a good
pretty
song.
bad.
Yes,
Solid. But man, hey Matt, this is the time of the show where you get your plugs in. Like tell people, like I know me and you're the Good Charcoal Company. Like tell them your sponsors, where people can find you, and all the good things about Blinky's Barbecue.
What social medias are you on?
Man, I'm only on 2 because that's about all I can handle. Facebook at Blinky's Offset Barbecue, BBQ. And then at Insta is at Blinky's Offset Barbecue __ thanks to some guy in Nigeria for $75 who hacked my account way back when I had to add the 2 underscores on there. But I'm out here in Bellevue, Tennessee. You can find me on there. I post a phone number. It goes directly right here. I got a cell phone for the business for a reason. We're always on it. I'm an alley cat because I cook barbecue and I've been in hospitality. So send me a text at 2 a.m. Chances are I'll respond. But man, Good Charcoal. Shout out to them for the best charcoal in the game. 100% acacia wood, chemical free. That company is poised to do a lot of big things. I hope that they keep me along for the ride. Regardless, I'm buying their product. It is
The
the
Good
best
Charcoal Company.
Yes.
Brought to you by the Good Charcoal Company.
The Good Charcoal Company.
No real other sponsors yet to formally announce. a couple irons in the fire.
Sure.
Maybe a couple other things, but we're out here doing our thing, man. Business first. But I'll be out on the comp trail. I'll be in Murfreesboro, Illinois. Praise the Lord. We'll be at Pig Fest. We'll be at the Jack with the Good Charcoal, kind of helping out and sponsoring. And pretty sure I'll be at the Royal too this year. Gotta be able to stroke that check. Might even be over at Burns Barbecue Bash in Burns, Tennessee, but it's the same weekend as what's the other one? Somethingville. It's a second or last weekend of September. It's the one Big James won last year, wherever it is.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know contest until a week out.
But no, man, just anywhere on there, Blinky's Offset BBQ, you can, punch it in and all the stuff comes up. So,
and also every fourth Tuesday on the
Thursday, Tuesday, yes, at Barbecue Central Show with Greg. Yes. Sorry.
One of those days.
You're right.
Well, I mean,
you're right. It's on Tuesday. His show's on Tuesdays with the other embedded correspondents. Rusty, Doug, and John.
That's right, man. The second best barbecue podcast online. No, I'm kidding.
Somebody's got to be second.
Somebody's got to be second. Might as well be them. No, but man, Matt, thank you so much for coming on, and I truly appreciate it. And brother, it's always fun talking Q with you. And yeah, man. So I will see you on the trail, and we'll be talking soon.
Yes, sir. Much appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Happy hunting.
See you, buddy. All right, man. Well,
good stuff, man.
Like riding the bike?
Yeah, felt good to hop right back on.
Felt good. Paige is like, oh God, we're starting this again.
We're back, baby.
We're back. But no, man, guys, great episode. I hope you're learning a bunch of stuff. These have been some educational pods. I'm learning a ton, and I'm enjoying talking the business sense of kind of the barbecue world, and it's kind of exciting. So next week, speaking of which, we have another good friend of ours and friend of the pod, Mr. Cotton, Eric Cotton from Cotton Barbecue. Cotton. Bold move, Cotton.
Bold move.
So let's see how it turns out. So make sure you tune in.
I'm gonna watch that movie.
I know.
Just
he hates
to pick
that.
up all the lines.
I bet he hates that. Like I hate chestnuts over an open fire. I hate that song. I hope it burns in hell.
Or I hate Tom Hanks.
Yeah. All right. Or Jenny. She's stupid.
No, Houston, we have a problem.
No, I know, but you talk about Tom Hanks. I think Forrest Gump and Jenny's a whore. She was dirty. But no, my guys. So that's our show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Same time, same day, same beautiful faces next week. And yeah, so that's it. Well, until next time, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. See you guys.
See ya.
That's all, folks.